So today's job is to fix the wipers on a Scenic. It's somewhat of a common problem with these. If I give it a bit of a wipe, you can see what's happening. You can see on the driver's side wiper, it's making good contact down the bottom, but when it gets up to the top, the middle part of the wiper isn't touching the screen at all. I've had a problem with this for a little while, but the problem used to be that just the end wasn't touching. You can see down here makes good contact, but by the time it gets up there, it's not touching the screen at all. So the problem with these is behind here. There's the way these two arms meet together on the arm is with a couple of bearings, and they're riveted on. So to replace this, I think it's about 120 quid. I'm not paying that. So I've bought this repair kit off eBay, and what it's giving you is just drill bit to drill out the rivets and just some replacement bearings. They look like the sort of thing you get in skateboard wheels, and they probably are. And just giving you a couple of bolts to replace the rivets after you've drilled them out. So that's today's job. I'm going to see how I get on with this. So the proper way to do this would be to remove the seal and take out these demo bolts and just remove this bit of trim. But I'm going to be a bit lazy today and see if I can just use an open end. I think it's a 60mm spanner on these, and see how that goes. There's not loads of room, but I think with two hands it should come off fine. Okay, so with it off the car, you can see the spring on the other side, and what I should be doing is holding this end tight to the screen, whatever it is on the windscreen. But with this failing, this is allowing this to lift up, so the spring is losing force through this side. You can see this arm is fairly secure, but there's quite a bit of play on that side, and it hasn't completely gone yet, but yeah, I think that's where my problems are lying. So it looks like that clips out of there. I'm going to remove all this plastic trim and see what's what. So all the trim comes off easily enough. The main one lifts up and then just away, and the other two, there's bits in there that you could like lever off. I think that bit you would lever off and then it slides off, and it's pretty much the same for the other one. It's got some extra clips, so just go easy with a small flat blade screwdriver. So this arm is nice and secure, so I don't think we need to change that. This one is very wobbly. So first of all, we need to remove this arm from this arm. So I think this should come out of there with the bearing attached. So just thinking how to do this. The only pull that I got small enough is my windscreen wiper pulley, which is fitting enough. So I'm going to see what I can do with this. So yeah, this should work. So the pulley's grabbing the main arm, and it's going to push the bearing with the little arm attached out. So I'll give this a go and see what happens. It's quite tough. Gonna make sure these arms, aren't going to stop the bearings from pushing through. I might have to open it up a little bit. Right, well, I helped use a small spanner just to get some leverage on this, but it is pushing through now. See the bearing emerging. There it goes. Move this away. So what we need to do now is remove this bearing. This feels very bad. Okay, so it's a good job of changing this. So yeah, what we need to do is remove this lip. I might get the angle grinder on there, and then we need to lift this bearing. It's a press fit, so it's on there quite tight, but this is blade over, so we need to remove this and then pull the bearing off this arm. And you can see the flap disc on the grinder made short work of that one. So what we want to do now is, this time, rather than pushing the bearing out, pulling the bearing off the spindle. Right, I think I might have to, I think this might be too big for the spindle because the bearing has to pass over there. So let's see what will fit on there. Well, it came off in many pieces, but it did come off. So yeah, the problem I was having was with the bearing sitting on there, that pulley, the bearing would have to pass over it, and it wasn't big enough. So I was trying different things. I did want to put a little socket on there. I've seen someone do that, but I didn't have enough room between there and where the bearing would be. So I ended up grinding the socket, but I still just ripped the old bearing apart. So that should be a close push fitting on there. Yeah, could probably go a bit further down. So I'll press that together, and then what I need to do is drill through there with the included drill bit, and run a bolt through there, and I'll run it through, so it'll bolt either side of there, and then this can be pressed into the other arm. Okay, so I wasn't perfectly central with my hole, but the bearing still spins freely with that all tightened up. I'd probably recommend drilling from the back. You can just see a raised area and give you a more central hole. So what I'm going to do now is press this into the other arm, and it should all be ready to go back together. Okay, well, I did have a little hiccup with this arm with the bearing just pulled out to this arm. So obviously I hadn't pressed that in enough. So if I throw it back together again now, give it a quick test, and yeah, clear and fine now. Yeah, gonna call that done.